October ended with me fishing a short overnighter on Wednesday the 27th in a margin swim. There was no action that night or in the morning before I had to go off to work, but I put a bit of bait in with the aim to fish it again on the Friday night. The swim was free when I came back and I was full of confidence. That night got me a take, but to my disappointment I lost a fish to a very quick hook pull. Bites around the lake were now becoming hard to come by. With the clocks changing that weekend, I decided that from now on my midweek overnighters would be limited to any days when the weather conditions were bang on and offered a good chance of a bite, and that I would instead concentrate on weekends. At this time the action continued to slow up for everyone after some cold weather and the first frosts. I hoped that this would trigger a big feed up by the fish, but it seemed to do the opposite. The water level was up with fresh cold rain that had been dumped into the lake. The weed beds were collapsing and breaking down, and now there were leaves falling into the lake. I told myself that the fish would soon adjust and get back on the feed, and so November brought a new determination from me to start getting bites again. A week later, on Friday the 5th of November, I started a two-nighter among the fireworks. My first night was in the rope swim, which I could accurately cast out to in the dark, and which had served me well during the year. This first night, however, brought nothing, and so with the conditions pointing to a move to the other side of the lake, I moved on to the point swim the next morning for my second night when that swim became free. 24 hours in that swim also proved uneventful, however. In a last-ditch attempt to salvage something from the session, I dropped into one of the day-only swims nearby for the last few hours where I'd heard and seen a fish topping during the night. I was desperate for one of those rod tips to bend round, but neither did. I consoled myself that I'd tried hard over that session and there was little more I could have done. I reminded myself that the lake was fishing hard and that I needed to come back as soon as possible to try and be there when the fish switched on again. I therefore planned another two-nighter a week later and got down there on Thursday the 11th at about 4 o'clock. Fishing the first night in the rope swim again and getting the rods out before the light went gave me confidence that I was fishing accurately. That confidence grew when I got a few bleeps in the night from what appeared to be fish moving around my spots. I was up early and braced for a run as the morning came, but to my disappointment the buzzers stayed silent. Once again, the conditions in the morning pointed to a move over the other side of the lake, and with the point swim again becoming free, I moved over there to see if this might bring me the luck that was missing last time. It proved, however, to be a replay of the previous week. A fish was regularly crushing out to my right behind the point during the night and in the morning, so again I spent the last few hours in the nearest day-only swim with a couple of bags plopped out in the area where the fish was. The rod tips were still, however, and I packed up knowing that I would probably not now have another chance for a week. Nothing in the weather during the week gave me any encouragement, but as we got towards the weekend it started to look better. Although someone had fished 5 nights straight in the week without a bite, a friend fishing the Thursday and the Friday had caught one, and he knew that another fish had been out. I decided that I would get down the lake Saturday morning to be there when those fishing until lunchtime had left. After a couple of hours chatting with my mate who was packing up, and then walking the lake without seeing any signs, I decided on the margin swim. This was purely to give me options on a wide area of the lake which no one was fishing, so that I could cast any fish that did show. It turned out to be the right decision, because after setting up, a fish started showing to my far left at about 100 yards or so down the margin. Another smaller fish also started showing alongside it. I cast close to that spot and sat back, fully expecting the rod tip to pull round. Nothing happened, however, and as the late afternoon light faded and darkness moved in, the fish stopped showing. I was still confident because I knew fish were in the area, but as the night passed and the morning came, the buzzers stayed silent. I hung it out until lunchtime and then conceded defeat again. A lot of the other anglers had already given up and gone home. It seemed that I had missed the brief feeding window on the Friday that saw a couple of fish come out, and I told myself that my luck must soon change. The next week brought bitterly cold northerly gales and sub-zero temperatures. At the end of that week I could only do a day session on the Sunday. I made sure I got down the lake for first light to try and find any fish that were showing. I had heard that nothing had apparently been caught all week, but it was still surprising that there was no one at all on the lake when I got there. I spent a couple of hours in the freezing winds walking around and looking for signs, concentrating on the sheltered calm areas where the sun might give the water a bit of warmth. I eventually saw a ripple from a fish moving along a margin and bubbling in a calm bit of water at the top northwest corner of the lake. I settled there and put a couple of bags out, fishing wafters with a couple of freebies and a bit of hemp, casters and pellet. There were no more signs, however, and after giving it 4 hours I decided to look elsewhere. Despite another hour of walking the lake and looking, I was not able to find any signs, so I gave up and decided to look ahead to next time when I could come back. The following week brought news that midweek someone had caught a couple, and I knew from which area, which was a bay in the southeastern corner that was sheltered by trees from the bit of northwesterly winds we had been having. This was the encouragement I needed, so, determined to end the run of blanks, I prepared for a 2-nighter and got down to the lake on Friday after work. Unfortunately, I'd been beaten to it. There was somebody already fishing that area. I therefore opted for what I thought would be the next best swim on the southern bank. The fish seemed to be holding up in that general area of the lake, which had a lot of weed, which was probably providing them with shelter and warmth. After setting up in the dark and flicking leads out to find some clearer spots, a couple of bags went out for the night about midway across to a point on the far bank. There was a big area of weed right in front of me, so I cast to either side of this. I didn't have a bleep, but at 5:30 in the morning a big fish crashed in the margin to my right, just a couple of rod lengths away under the tree. I could not see the branches in the dark and whether it was clear to get a bait out, so I didn't try until it got light a couple of hours later. I then put one on the spot, but nothing more happened. The day brought cold northwesterly winds, and for the night I put a bit of bait on the margin spot and recast the other rod with a bag out to the right of the weed bed. Again, it was a quiet night. I gave it until mid-morning and packed up, telling myself that this was still the area of the lake that I needed to come back to next week. The next weekend brought some really mild weather, with westerlies and temperatures of 13 degrees during the day and 10 overnight. The lake was therefore very busy. I decided I would wait until the Sunday when everyone went, and then I would get in the swim that I wanted, which was in the same bay that had done some fish. The plan was to fish until 7 AM the next morning and then go off to work. I sat up in the swim and put the left hand rod out with a solid bag with a few crushed tigers, tiger nut boilie crumb and some hemp, 15 wraps out to a margin spot near an inlet pipe. The right hand rod was put out with another solid bag with a few boilies, crumb and hemp with a tiger nut boilie wafter. This went straight out in front of me, 10 wraps to a clear spot among the heavy weed that was still out there. The weather looked bang on, but I only had a few bleeps on one rod in the early hours. I packed up in the early morning light, disappointed but satisfied that I'd put the effort in, and told myself I would not be put off coming back as soon as I could. The next chance I had was the following weekend, a week before Christmas. It was busy on the lake, but I got down there Saturday lunchtime to see who might be leaving. Okay, it's Saturday 18th of December, it's just gone 1:30 in the afternoon. I've got down here and it's very busy. I've gone in the island swim because that's pretty much the only one that's left. There's been people down here the last couple of nights and nothing has come out. We had some mild temperatures during the week, but it's dipped a little bit today. We've got some sort of easterly winds that are going to turn to northeasterly overnight and through tomorrow. We had a lot of cloud during the week, but it's cleared and we've got clear skies today. It's going to cloud over again later tonight. We've had settled high pressure, sort of over 10-40 millibars for the last good few days, so yeah, it's not looking good, but all in all, but pressure's going to drop later on during the week, so I'm aiming to come back then. But I've got the usual Saturday night now, so yeah, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to be fishing one out there at 10 reps off the corner of the island, where I had a bit of success earlier in the season with that 32, I think it was, and the other one I'm going to fish on the entrance to the channel, just because yeah, it's as good a place as any. So yeah, right, okay, it's nice and clean out there. I've had a bit of a drag about. There's obviously a gravel spot out there, which I know, and out there I've had a bit of a flick about out towards the island, and had a few donks, so it's pretty firm down there, and not dragging back any leaf litter or anything. So yeah, I'm going to be fishing the left hand rod is going to be fishing boilie with some boilie and boilie crumb, just in a PVA bag, and the other one I'm going to be fishing popped up tiger over there on the right hand rod, again with some crumb, but it's got some crushed tigers in it. So yeah, okay, well, let's get them out. Okay, just come up to 4:30. The sun's setting, so yeah, it'll soon be dark. There's been no signs this afternoon, so yeah, we'll see what the night brings. Yes! Oh, just gone up to 12 o'clock, left hand rod. I've waited a long time for this fish. Oh, right. Okay, sling 0, so let's see how big. Yes, £33. Best weight from here this season. Oh, you beauty. Poacher baits, tiger nut and maple. Oh, let's have a look at it. Oh. £33. Beautiful. Come on. That fish means so much to me because it's been a long while. Forget the fact that it was £33, the biggest of the season that I've had, but yeah, superb. Yeah, it's funny because I had a bleep on the left hand rod and right at the same time, so I was just about falling asleep. So I got up and thought, well, which rod is it? But nothing was moving, no, the bobbins weren't moving. So I just stood there, and about 5 seconds later, the left hand one went off again. So that was it. But fish didn't put up a fight really. He just kited in to the right under my right hand rod tip, and just wallowed a bit in the margins, and yeah, it was whoop, straight in the net. So a bit dozy, but yeah, I've just put a bag back out there on the spot. But oh, superb. Oh, I've waited so long. It's a couple of months, I think, getting on for. So yeah. Oh, I won't be able to go to sleep now. Buzzing. But £33. Lovely fish as well, lovely clean fish. One little scale that was lifted on one side. But yeah, superb. Right, I'm going to attempt to get my head down. Morning. 7:30 now. Maybe grey and overcast, but feels like a beautiful morning. Yeah. About 3 this morning, 3:30, something like that. The right hand rod bleeped a couple of times. I thought, well, could have another, but no, it went quiet. But that's okay. Right, I did take a while to get off the kip, so I've only just recently woken up, so no coffee in me yet, but that's going to change now. I'm going to get the kettle on. That's better. Needed that. I don't reckon that fish knew it was hooked last night. So I had that initial bleep, or bit of a take, and I couldn't tell which rod it was, because both alarms lit up, and then there was a bit of a pause, wasn't there? Well, if I haven't captured that on film, yeah, there was a bit of a pause, and then it went off again, the left hand one, and didn't give me any fight, did it? It just came straight in. I had 2 attempts at netting it, but that's down to me, just not judging the distance right. And it wasn't the fish pulling away from the net. Yeah, came in like a baby, but which I don't mind. I didn't mind after all the blanks. I just wanted to get it in the net. Just give me a fish. What a fish! Yeah, that's only had 2 fish from that spot this season. Both been 30s. Had that one back in June, and then. I don't think a lot of people fish it. I think they think the fish is going to kite into the trees there, the snags which are under the water. But every fish I've looked has come the other way, this towards me, to the right. So, and it's so tempting. Everyone knows the spot up the side of the island. There's 3 spoms, white spoms up the trees there. I try to get really tight. I mean, I've nearly lost spom up there before now. Or spod, I lose a spod, don't I? I've got spoms, but yeah, I always prefer the old spod. Mainly because, if you hit the spot, you can, if you want to, you can drag it about a bit before it fully empties, so you can spread the bait out. A bit old school. It wasn't too cold last night. It clouded over about 10:30, something like that, I think. And yeah, the temperature noticeably rose. And it's going to stay misty and overcast today, so I'm not going to be able to drive my gear out at all. But that's alright. I'll slow back away about 10 and be off before 12. And then we're going to have a couple of cold days, I think. 2 or 3 cold days. But then Wednesday, we've got a big pressure drop coming. Well, don't know if it's big or gradual, but over the coming days it's going to drop. It's about, it's in the 1030s at the minute. It's going to drop down to sort of 10, 15, something like that by Wednesday. So yeah, I'm going to come back down then for just a one-nighter, I think. But it's going to be busy, I think, down here between now and Christmas Eve on Friday. I know my friend's coming back down. He's going to be having a 3-night social. I can't make it for the 3 nights, but I might get down for one of them. Like I say, on the Wednesday. So yeah, and that'll be it. Well, actually, I may get down, have a cheeky night on one of the bank holidays. I'll get a pass for that at home on the Monday or the Tuesday. Yeah. Before you know it, it'll be into the new year. Right, I need another one of these, so I'll do an update in a bit. Okay, it's 11 o'clock, all packed up now. Going to go home with a spring in my step. I've perked right up now after what is nearly 2 months of not catching. So yeah, sorry this video took so long to get to seeing a fish, but yeah, I guess it's like that sometimes. If you're out there fishing, I hope you catch a whacker. If you like the video, please like, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment if you'd like, and yeah, I'll see you next time.